Okay, I believe we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are chaotic as always. We were just having a little catch up. What were we talking about? Shadow Hunters.
That's the one, yes.
Yeah, so I've been rereading Clockwork Angel, which is the first Infernal Devices book, and when I read it, I read it in 2018 because I had a look at my Goodreads review, and I loved it then. Like, I loved it so much, and that was, like, my first because I read them in that order, so that was the first Shadowhunters book I read. And I really, really enjoyed it, and I just feel like although I did enjoy it this time, and I feel like part of it was, like, I was really happy to be back in the Shadowhunters world, and it has made me more excited to read the newer,
Yeah.
series that I haven't read yet. I also just felt like, am I gonna I hope I enjoy them as much as, like I just don't know if I'm gonna enjoy them as much as I did when I first read Infernal Devices or Mortal Instruments or Dark Artifices, because I read them all, I think, in 2018 or
Yeah.
2018, 2019.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is for me. I feel like I
Yes,
think I've
it's good.
grown out of it
Yeah,
a bit.
like, I love them so much, but I don't know, I'm like, is it because 'cause I've read it before, so I'm switching off? Or is it that this is, like, not like, I've read so much adult fantasy since then.
I feel like because I'm listening to the audiobook of the third book in the most recent series, I've forgotten the book's name. That shows just how much I'm not into them anymore.
The most recent I was in, like, Chain of Thorns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to the audiobook on that one, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's just a certain plot line that I'm like, you've done this before, Cassie.
Mm.
Why?
Yeah, I feel like I I love the atmosphere of her books,
Yeah.
and I love the, like, found family aspect I feel like all of them have. And part of rereading Infernal Devices made me feel like I'm looking forward to kind of because I feel like there's always, like, a nostalgia. Even though I only read them for the first time 5 years ago, I still feel, like, nostalgic when I read them, but they're just not as, like, impressive.
Yeah, I maybe there wasn't that much out back then that was like that, like YA
Mm,
fantasy, and now there's just so much.
yeah, maybe that's it kind of
Mm.
feels like yeah, that's true. Maybe it just felt kind of fresher then and, like, more unique.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, I feel like if I wanna read fantasy, there's V. Schwab and there's Sarah J. Maas and there's, like, a lot of, like, adult authors, but then Swordcatcher, maybe Swordcatcher will be there.
I'm not yeah, because that's the other thing is that she's on her 4th series in the same
Mhm.
world, and I feel like there's probably only so much you can do,
Yeah, that
and
is
maybe
true.
that's why it's starting to feel a bit repetitive, and so I'm very interested to see what she does with an adult fantasy in a made-up world in a completely new series, not related at all,
Mm.
and see how that changes it up a bit.
Yeah, it would be really cool 'cause she I feel like she hasn't really, like, put her hand to anything that's not Shadowhunter related.
Yeah, I mean, she did Magisterium with Holly Baum, but that was just
She did. That is true, but
I didn't love that.
yeah.
I'm keeping the first book because I got it signed and it was the first time I ever met Cassie, but other than that, I've got rid of the whole series.
Yeah, yeah. I know Courtney read them and she was like, "They're okay, but" like, I liked them, but they're not, like, amazing.
Yeah. Part of it is I just don't like Holly Baum's books either, so
You're mixing up Holly Ball and Holly Black,
Holly
like, probably because you love Holly Ball.
love Holly Baum, it's also been a long day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't like Holly Black's books either, I don't like her writing, I find it really hard to get into.
Yeah. I've heard that, although I do have the hardbacks of The Cruel Prince because I feel like I need to try them.
I found The Cruel Prince really weird because everyone was like going on about how cruel, I mean, it's called The Cruel Prince, and how cruel the main character was. And I was like,
Mhm.
this just feels like kids playing pretend.
Interesting. Reese, as you are here, am I right in saying that you read The Cruel Prince and really didn't like it, but then went back to it and really liked it? And what are your general thoughts, please? Because I feel like I've seen Reese's like thoughts on The Cruel Prince over a number of years, and I might be right in saying that they did go back to them and it completely changed their opinion of them. But like, I feel like I've heard people love hate them, so I feel like I had to get them to
Yeah.
see, to try.
I think my problem is I was expecting them to be more mature than they were.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then in my, like, from my perspective, because I've, people read things differently, but they just didn't feel as mature as I was expecting. And so then that made me feel like, oh, okay. But if you,
Yeah.
I don't know, I was going to say if you go into it expecting it to be less mature, but then maybe you'll perceive it differently to me and it'll all be fine anyway.
I definitely think I'll go into them with like a YA mindset. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I despised it and now it's my third favourite series ever. I love them so goddamn much now. I hated them to start with. I hated Card and now I die for him. Okay, see? Interesting. I definitely think I will go into it with like, this is gonna be YA, this is gonna be like an easy fantasy.
Yeah. I think
Um,
from what I'd heard other people saying, I didn't go in with that mentality, and
yeah.
then I was a bit let down by it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Anyway, I feel like we need to talk about other things. Things we are here to read tonight.
Yes.
Um, talking of, what are you reading, Alex?
I'm reading A Day of Fallen Night, Chunky Monkey.
Chunky Monkey! Oh my god, it is a Chunky
Chunky
Monkey.
Monkey.
Hi, Marlene.
Um,
And sorry, Reese also says in December and January, I read them 5 times in a row. That's amazing. They're a comfort series. I haven't read the new one yet because I'm scared it won't be as good.
I get
Yeah,
that. That's what's happened with me and Cassie.
yeah, I get that. Sorry, carry on, Alex. You are reading Chunky Monkey.
Reading Chunky Monkey. I'm on page 136 out of 800 and something, and I just want to make some progress. But I started this so long ago now because I was reading the hardback until Beth passed on this lovely arc.
I did. I passed on.
And it makes it a bit lighter to read. So I was reading the hardback and not taking it anywhere with me, and so then I kept picking up other books, and so it's taken me ages to get to it. But I still remember like nearly crying on page 2 just because I was like, "Oh, it's Priory World again! I'm so happy."
I completely understand this, and even though I read Priory in a week because I forced myself to do that, I didn't find like I kind of remember you reading it in like a week or so, didn't you? And I was like, I can do this.
Between a week and 2 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I can do this, and I kind of made myself read like 100 pages a day, and I actually did it, and was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Like it's not as daunting as I thought, but it is high fantasy.
Yeah, the thing I find with it is it is quite, I find it quite slow to, this one as well,
Yeah.
quite slow to read, but not in a like this is really boring kind of way. Like I still
Yeah.
get really sucked into it.
Mhm.
I always read fewer pages than I think I have, but I
Yeah.
still get really like into it and I really enjoy it. So it's like slow but good.
Yeah, I definitely felt the same. Like I definitely felt like it was slow, but not in the way like I expected it to feel slow as in like a not like boring, but like it was kind of spread out or like spaced out. Whereas in reality, I think it doesn't like it feels like there's enough in there to like keep you interested.
Yeah, it keeps moving.
It definitely
Yeah.
keeps moving. I wish I'd loved Priory more than I did, but also I'd read Queen of Vaults, which is 600 pages, Midnight Sun and Priory all within like 5 days. That's insane.
I don't know how you even managed that. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Um,
Please teach
um,
us your time stopping skills because I need to know them.
I'm reading Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater, which is I was just thinking when you said you're on page 136, I'm on 133.
Nice.
Of 372 pages. Um, And what was I going to say? I think this book comes out. It's not today. Is it tomorrow? I can't remember which day it comes out. Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, I am reading The Ark, but this book is out for people who are wondering.
It's out. It's out tomorrow. Yeah,
Nice.
we're both reading proof copies, but yeah. This one is very good, by the way. It's really good so far. Very much enjoying it. It's like about this character who works in a bookshop who's like very dark as a character, and she like really likes like true crime. She's obsessed with like murders and stuff. And then this woman starts working in the bookshop with her who's like very what's the word, like pretty kind of influencer type character who has like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like that kind of character. And it's like how the main character who's like really dark and like gothic and obsessed with murder becomes obsessed with the other character. So neither of them are very likable, but it's interesting, and it's also set in Walthamstow, and obviously I've spent a lot of time in Walthamstow, so it's cool because it's very much set in Walthamstow. Like it goes around a lot of different places and stuff, which I'm like, oh, I recognise that, so it's pretty cool.
I love it when that happens. But like nothing's ever set in Nottingham. There have been a few books, and then literally nothing is ever set in Canberra. Like, I went searching and I could only find one book, and I bought it and I read like 5 pages and I was like, this is not for me.
Oh no. I was gonna say, Jamie, have you read Jamie yet?
No, I haven't.
Jamie's set in Nottingham.
Yeah, I didn't even realise that the cover picture was them on top of the town hall building until what's their name?
LD Lipinski?
LD Lipinski. I couldn't remember the middle initial until they tweeted a picture of it like matching up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm there. I thought it was just a building.
was that a photo they tweeted yesterday? Or like the other day?
I think I'm gonna look it up now.
Was it before? I saw one the other day that was in front of the town hall. I was like, oh, it's sweet, it's them. Did you know that Midnight in Everwood? Because that's also set in Nottingham.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. Because she's bringing out another book later this year called Upon a Frosted Star, and I think that's also set in Nottingham.
Yeah, I tried to check it out, and then I decided that I don't like historical fiction.
That's fair. I mean, historical fiction. I'm reading Black House by Stephen King and Peter Straub. Also very chunk. I feel like Chunky Monkey. I feel like Stephen King has a lot of Chunky Monkey books.
Yes.
No, Chunky Monkey instead of Chunky Monkey. I want to read Jamie so badly. I was gonna say I relate, like I haven't already read it. I completely understand because Jamie is amazing, and I love that book so much. It was so good.
I'm gonna see if I can find that picture because it was a good picture.
Are we going to start sprinting in a minute?
Yes, we definitely should.
I'm also gonna look for the photo that they tweeted yesterday. So we normally do half an hour sprints at a time, so I'm going to set the Pomodoro count up in a second. I was going to say that's the same one.
It lines up with the building. I love it.
So cute. I never even noticed that. I don't know if I even noticed that it was on the top of the town hall, really.
I didn't until I saw that picture. I was like, oh, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, when I read it, I pictured that building as the town hall.
Yeah, I assumed they were like on top of their school or something.
Yeah.
It's school related, isn't it? To do with the school being gendered.
In the book, the scene is they go to the council about the school thing. Like they go sit on top of the council building. They go on top of the council building.
I just assumed they were on top of their school, and I was like, oh, cool.
I'm just gonna add a special guest to the stream. Hey.
Hi. Sorry, I jump in just as you say, and we're about to go to sprints, and then
that's okay. You can just like go and chill and go and read for a bit or whatever you are doing. Are you reading? Are you writing tonight?
I'm
or-
writing because I
You're
need to finish
writing.
my book in the next 6 weeks or so. No panic here.
Oh my
Hold.
gosh, 6 weeks.
Yes, so Mima 3 needs to be with my editor, the first draft by then. And yeah, I went to, so you were just talking about Midnight in Everwood. I was just with Mia Kuznia today who wrote that.
Oh.
And we were meant to do some writing and we did not. We just hung out and watched The Lost Boys.
Oh, you watched The Lost Boys today?
Yes, she'd never watched Lost Boys. I was really shocked. So I was like, we just need to remedy this and watch The Lost Boys. And we ate loads of food, so that was nice. And I can confirm I've read Upon a Frosted Start and Midnight. And they don't feel very historical because I'm not a big fantasy reader or historical reader, and yet I really love them.
Yeah.
They're more kind of like magical to me, I think. But grounded in history, grounded in fantasy, but then like magical and really great characters and stuff. So, but I'm biased, like I said, I just hung out with it today, so check it out. It out if you wish. But yeah, I really like.
I've enjoyed some like sort of magical historical books. So it's if it feels more magical, then I'd definitely be more interested. But I'm much more of a fantasy reader than a historical reader.
Oh, you might have to try and convince me then, because I'm just like dipping my toes into fantasy, and I just love Legends and Lattes, and I'm now like trying to seek anything that's like that. And I like the sound of that Death of a Bookseller that you're reading too. Sounds really, really good.
It's so good. I love Legends and Lattes so much. It's so good. Have you read The House in the Cerulean Sea?
No, I have not actually. I picked up the Secret Society for Regular Witches. I'll add that to my list. What was that one called? House on the Cerulean Sea?
House in the Cerulean Sea, yeah.
Okay.
My copy of his newest book shipped today.
I was going to say, but shall I? I was going to do this on a vlog, but I feel like now I should do it here instead.
Yes.
This should be, I think, unless I'm about to have a surprise and I've ordered more than I thought. It should be In the Lives of Puppets.
Is that the new one?
Yay. Yeah.
Oh, I got that cover too. Oh my god, that's cool.
Is it taller than the others?
Oh, it will be because the others are Illumicrate, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think it might be taller. It will be taller than the others because I think this is a B format. No, B format's a short royal hardback. This is a royal hardback, I think, which is like a UK hardback.
I like to know all the proper terms for them. I never know what I'm ordering, and then they come and I'm like, oh, that's just a really big book. Oh, that's. Really
I said that, and then I was like, is it though? Is it? Yeah, I think this is a royal hardback. I only know because the Afterlight books are all B format paperbacks, and they're little. It's so pretty though.
That's gorgeous. Anyway. So where did you say that one's from?
This one's the Waterstones one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this one's the Waterstones one, and the Illumicrate did the same thing for House in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door. So it matches in terms of the wraparound cover, but the size is sadly different.
And the pretty naked hardbacks on the Illumicrate ones.
Oh, I love
yes.
I missed those.
I want to show you them, but I don't know where they are. I think they're.
I can get mine. I'll go get mine.
Yeah, go and get them, Alex. We were meant to start sprinting, but now we're distracted.
I told you I ruined everything. Like everybody was ready for a nice calm sprint, and then I.
You will quickly the shelf. Mark, what's the shelf? Oh, you've got them.
Oh, that's nice as well. Oh yeah.
And then underneath they are.
Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Oh. I feel like real book envy now that I didn't order them. I've not read it, so it probably would have been a bad idea.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And
oh gosh, they're amazing. I'm going to need to pay like loads for them on eBay now, aren't I? When I really like this book.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, probably yes.
I do this all the time. I go, oh, I'm not going to order it, and then I get real FOMO when it arrives, and I have to try and like hunt it down. So I need to get back on
it. That with Ninth House.
Yeah, I still haven't read that. I thought I was going to wait and get for the second one and read it then, and I've still not read it. So I probably need to get moving on that. They're going to all be out before I get to them, which is maybe not a bad thing actually.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I need to reread Ninth House before.
Yeah, Same.
I read the entire. Do you remember when we buddy read Ninth House, Alex? And I read the entire thing, and then I was like, "Was there flashbacks in this?" Because I just glazed over the fact that it wasn't in a linear order. It's non-linear, and it very much confused me.
Oh, I don't know whether I can cope with that. Like, a couple of people have said, I don't think you're going to like it, and I'm like a bit wary whenever two people like have independently said, I don't think this is your kind of book, so I don't know whether I will or not.
I do like it, but I feel like I need to go into it more prepared to know that it's a non-linear.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. Like the format is, but like the kind of concept of it is very different to anything else that Leigh Bardugo's written.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I do like it. Right, we're gonna sprint. I was going to say, Amy, you will very quickly understand me and Alex when we sprint together is incredibly chaotic.
That's
We
fine
just
with
talk.
That sounds like my sprints. That's absolutely fine. I'm ready. I'm sorry I'm like crowbar myself into your normal nice little conversation.
No, it's lovely to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I need to be productive, so this is great. I need this.
Okay, can we all see the cat okay?
Yes.
I only just realised, I don't know if you know this, Amy, you can change the colour of the cat.
I had forgotten that. It's a very good function, but I feel like I'd just go down the rabbit hole of like spending hours choosing the correct, like my favourite cat.
I was there for a bit choosing the colour of which
Yeah.
I wanted the cat to be and the background to be, but I was very excited to find that out. But if anyone's wondering, me and Alex, including you, Amy, me and Alex tend to do 30-minute sprints. With like 10-15 minutes of chat in the middle, and then we'll do another 30-minute sprint. And we'll usually go for a couple of hours, so
Yeah.
9:30, 10ish. But feel free to dip out whenever. Same to anybody. Feel free to read or write or do whatever you would like for these sprints.
I will be eating lasagna, so
You'll be eating lasagna. And yeah, I'll see you all in 30 minutes. I'm going to start there. There we go.
Bye.
See you soon.
bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
There we go. I'm sorry if the cat scared anybody.
No, I'm used to it. I use that on mine too.
Yes. Yeah, I've noticed. I love the cat. It's so helpful.
Oh, it definitely pressures me into working when I see that cat counting down. I'm like, go, go, go. I need to do something.
Even when I'm like, if I'm not sprinting, sometimes I'll put someone else's sprints like pre-recorded, even if they're not sprinting on. Usually I'm like, if I'm reading in the day, I'm like, I need someone's sprints on, even if they're recorded, so I can actually sit down and focus. So
I use that video that Gavin did quite a lot.
same, I use Gavin's video all the time. It's like company as well.
And he
How
put
did you
good music on it. It was nice.
Yeah, it's nice. How was your lasagna, Alex?
Very nice. It was a veggie lasagna, which is my favourite.
Very nice. I sort of forgot to start reading for a while. I completely understand this. I understand. Did you read a little bit as well?
I read about 3 pages.
Nice. I felt like both 3 pages for Day of Fallen Night, and 6 pages for a Stephen King book. I feel like both of those are good.
I mean, it's like 3 more pages than I've read in the last 2 weeks, so yeah.
Then it's definitely an achievement. Did I read or did I watch an episode of? I don't want to try and mispronounce this. Hirimia?
Yeah, Harimaya.
Yeah, that sounds better. And Hostile. I feel like it's the latter, Reese. Not gonna lie. How did you get on with your writing, Amy?
Good. I'm doing a thing at the minute where I've got the ending of the book to write, but I've decided to go back and edit it because I'm changing a few things. I'm like, I can't end this when I haven't actually done the thing that I'm now adding. So I'm going back to add a few things. And some more murders, which is always nice.
Ooh.
I never put enough murdering in the first draft. I'm like, there needs to be more dead bodies in the book. So I've been doing that, killing a few people. And I've managed to do my 3 chapters that I wanted to do today, which is good. So I'm going to try and do another one in the next sprint. So yeah, thank you. It's keeping me motivated. It definitely holds me to account.
Oh, I'm glad. I feel like I'm not really a writer, but I feel like I would be very, very linear as a writer. I'd have to just.
Oh, it's so interesting. Like, I looked at Mia's laptop today. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, like, she writes chunks that are really good, and then she'll write, I don't know what is going to happen here, or I need to finish this bit, and then carries on going. And I think she finds that really freaking. I'm like, oh no, I can't write something here. I need to write the thing there. So I think I'm quite slow at drafting because I do tend to have to write something, which is bad because then sometimes I realize, like, oh god, that could be a lot better, and then I have to go back and fix it. Whereas if I plotted it all out really neatly, maybe I could write it more quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I would be more like you, where I'd have to kind of have a scene, even if it wasn't completely finished, I'd have to have it. That's what I was like at university, like writing, like essays and stuff. I would have to just write it all, even if it was really bad. And then I could at least go back and know what it kind of looked like, the structure of it. But
yeah, I think there's like discovery writers where you have to start writing to actually know where you're going to go. And I'm definitely that. I do some plotting, but then I get excited and also don't know what's going to happen next. I'm like, I'm just going to start. Have you thought about writing? You sound like you might have a little writer in there, or are you just?
Oh, I don't. I did do National Novel Writing Month years ago.
Oh, see, I felt that. I saw that.
I did do it, but I'm just, I don't know. It's not something I think about a lot, to be honest. I've never read back what I wrote.
Yeah. Maybe you should. You've actually done the perfect thing of leaving it, because I used to do that before I was published. I'd like write stuff and try and leave it for a bit so I could come back with some perspective. And now I literally have to just write it, send it, and hope for the best. It comes back a few weeks later, repeat the process, send it back. Particularly the anthology, because that sold last October and it's coming out this October. So that was super quick. Every thing has been like, send it back in 2 weeks. So I quickly do. Wow. And it's only a short story. So that's a bit easier. I do the edits, and then suddenly before I know it, they're back again and I'm editing it again. So there's been no distance. But I wrote it like a year ago, and it takes that long to kind of get stuff. It went out on submission, and it went out on submission and sold pretty quickly. But the whole process of putting the thing together took so long that I had a bit of distance. So yeah, I don't know. If I were you, I'd maybe pick that up and just see what it's like, just out of interest.
God,
even if it's like an extra hobby, it could be
such
fun.
a long time. I think it was like, how many years ago would it have been? Like 7 years ago, maybe? A long time ago. Yeah.
Amazing. That is a definite, like, that's a good break from it.
What kind of book was it?
It was like dystopian. It was like, someone told me it sounded like is it called Under the Dome by Stephen?
I love Under the Dome. I watched the TV show. I haven't read the book, but yeah, I loved the TV show.
Because it was basically that concept. I didn't even know that book existed, but it was essentially like this dome that everybody was trapped in, and they didn't know why. But in the dome there was like different biomes, so there was loads of different kind of places. It was I wrote 50,000 words in the month, but it was not good. I just wanted to get it out. Like,
I don't know. I think you should go back and read it, because like first drafts are never good for absolutely anybody. Even V. Schwab. Like when I saw her speak like last year, she said that her first draft, she reads it back and she's like, "Is there anything salvageable in here? Like, is there anything I can use?" Annalise Avery writes a whole first draft and then deletes it immediately, and then starts again. I was like, oh my God, that's really terrifying to me, because I don't think my first drafts are rubbish, because I write slowly and kind of edit as I go along. I would never ever delete it. Whereas she says that she like discovers it, has it in her head then that she kind of knows what she wants to do, and then deletes it. And she's done that for every book so far. I was like, that's wild.
It's a bold move. I feel like it's one of those things that if you did it accidentally, you would come out with something better, but you would I wouldn't be able to purposely do that.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've lost work and then ended up rewriting it, and you're like, oh, that was really great for me, actually. In the end, I just had a mental breakdown in the middle, but I couldn't purposely be like, yeah, I'll just get rid of that.
That sounds like writing a book in general. I'm always like, I've got this much time left, can I actually do it? And it's happened twice before and turned out fine, so I'm hoping that the third one and fourth and so on will carry on in that vein, that they'll just keep being okay.
I have a few comments. More dead bodies is always good.
That's my theory as well. I think that's kind of what a murder mystery needs. So yeah,
definitely.
I agree. I've tried NaNoWriMo a few times. Maximum I got was 13,000 words. I got stuck.
If it's any consolation, I started doing Camp NaNoWriMo this month, thinking I could finish my whole book. Realised that I didn't want to write the ending, and I wanted to go back and edit it, so I just abandoned. I wrote 17,000 words, I think. Abandoned it. I haven't been back on the website since, and just went back and edited. So it happens to all of us.
That was me, I think, because I did NaNoWriMo, and then I tried to do Camp NaNoWriMo the next year, and I was like, I'll do like 15,000 or 20,000 words. I'll put a much lower goal in, and I just got very, very not far in at all. It was like, I don't want to do this. I can't do it.
It's got to be fun. It's such hard work, and like if you're like me, like you've got another job and stuff as well. Like I've got a little boy, I have to really, really want it. So if I wasn't enjoying it, I'd just have to give up, basically, because I just have to squeeze in an evening when I really want to be watching TV.
I think that's the thing for me, is like I definitely went through like a phase of thinking like, is this something I would want to do? I don't feel like I have the calling, if that makes sense. I feel like I enjoy writing more like blog stuff and that side of things, but you never know. Maybe I'll go back to it one day, because I did write more when I was like a kid and growing up. So have you ever
written a short story? Would be good. I'd never written one until last year. I saw like a call out for submissions, and I just thought it was like a creature anthology, and I thought, oh, that sounds fun. I'm going to write about creature. I wrote a werewolf story, and it got selected, and the editor like self-published it, so that came out last year, and that kind of gave me the taste for. And I'd already got this other anthology like kind of on the back burner. So yeah, I found that was really fun too, because it's quite freeing that you just write a little bit and you don't have to keep track of it. I find it really hard to keep everything in my head and the plot with a longer book. With a short one, it's great because it's just like kind of one, almost like a scene from a film and then done.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should, if I do ever feel like the need to write again, maybe I should start with something a lot shorter.
Yeah, like you said, it's that passion thing. Like if you suddenly get this like little itch, and it's like I can't stop thinking about this like weird idea, and it just starts to grow in your head like a kind of weed taking over, and then suddenly you're like, I've got to write this down. So yeah, I think maybe you start to get that feeling. Maybe you should listen to it and have a go.
Maybe I should. Have you ever written, Alex?
I've tried it a few times. It's not for me.
Yeah,
I'm much happier reading.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you feel like a lot of readers naturally progress into writing. Sometimes I feel like I find it odd that I don't.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Every now and then I think it would be cool to write, but then I've tried it before and it's not for me. I don't really enjoy it even. So yeah.
I suppose it depends what you're doing it for. Like if you're writing with that kind of publication pressure, and you're like, it needs to fit into this kind of box, and it needs to be so many words, and kind of roughly have a genre and audience. Like if you are just doing it completely for fun, I think it's different. And if it's not fun, like you said, Alex, it's kind of like if you're just forcing yourself. I mean, I know some authors who are under contract, and like I sometimes don't find it fun if I'm really tired. I'm like, I know I need to write 1,000 words today. I really don't want to. It's like not always fun. But generally I still feel that like little buzz, and like I don't know, like when you're reading a really good book and it's kind of flowing and you can't stop, it's like that, but you like the words kind of coming out of you as you're doing it. So it's really exciting when it's working well. It's like a really good feeling.
It makes me it reminds me the way you're talking about it reminds me of running. I feel like the way you're saying about it is making me think about how I feel when I'm running. Like sometimes it feels like you're just trying to push through it. It's a chore, but actually you end up in this like rhythm
that's exactly it. It's having a thing you're passionate about, isn't it? Whether you do it because you feel you have to exercise, whether you do it because you're under deadline and on contract. It's nice when it flows. When it's not, it's less fun, but you kind of still push through because it's something you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. In that way, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I've mentioned I read 40 pages, I think, during that sprint. This is very fast, I must say. It's very fast, and some of the chapters are only like 3 pages long. So it is quite quick to get through. It's so dark though. So dark.
I really want it. I did. I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's quite expensive. Do I wait for because it's coming out in hardcover? I think I maybe need to wait for the paperback. But yeah, I'm sure I'm probably going to cave. I added it to my basket. I'm probably going to buy the end of the sprint club. Just bought that. I added that and House on the Cerulean Sea. So you both sold them to me like that.
Oh, Cerulean! I think you will love Cerulean Sea because although it's very different to Legends and Lattes, it's like that kind of same queer, like soft, gentle fantasy. I think that Legends and Lattes, and I've heard the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is similar, although I haven't read it yet, but I would really like to.
Yeah, it's in the room. I can't even call it a pilot at this point. It's in like the TBR room. So at some point I'll read it in the next like 20 years or something.
Yes, me too.
TJ Klune's romances also are just always on point.
Yes.
You just get so sucked into it and just get all the feels, and it's just perfect.
You just want to like root for the characters.
I've reread like the epilogue of Cerulean Sea like 6 times, and I've only read the entire book once.
Yes, the epilogue of Cerulean Sea is it's so soft. It's so lovely.
It's so lovely.
I thought you were going to say sad then, and I was like, no, you've just turned me off it. But yeah, if you're saying soft, I'm with it. Like, I can't cope with sad.
It's emotional. I wouldn't say it's sad. It's like hopeful, which is the kind of ending I like. If it's hopeful.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it if you do read it. I was going to say actually because I have told Mark a lot about this because it's set in Walthamstow, and we spent a lot of time in Walthamstow when we first got together, and it's actually set around the time we got together.
That's really cool. So you can properly like fact check that thing, can't you?
It's really odd. So we actually officially our anniversary is Halloween, which is October 2019 is the kind of day we count as our anniversary. And this is so kind of well laid out that I just started November. So the chapter before that was Halloween. It was the day we actually get together, and we were
that's like, so cute.
Around that. I mean, it's a weird book to liken to like that because it's so dark and it's about murder in Walthamstow. But yeah, Mark said he wants to make me a Walthamstow bingo for me to play because it's made me realise how much I actually remember Walthamstow and do know. We talk about streets, parks, and places, and I kept messaging Mark yesterday, being like, "They've just gone to the posh spa that used to have the TV in the back of it, like spa being the shop, not a spa."
Oh yeah, I was excited for them then. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Just a spa. It is weird. It is a weirdly posh spa though. It's got like a bakery in it and things like that.
Whatever that's posh.
You wouldn't expect, but yeah, and like the pubs and places that are like places that I actually recognise. So it's pretty cool. Hi Amy, thank you for joining, and no need to apologise.
I'm just sitting here having a crisis that you and Mark have been together for nearly 4 years already.
Do you want me to define? Do you want to hear how long I've been with my husband?
Yeah.
Hang on, is it more than 20 years now? I was going to say nearly 20 years. Is it more than 20 years?
We're 21.
21 years. Yeah, we met when I was 17 and he was 18. So, yeah, I mean, it does feel a little bit like a blink since I was 17, which is a bit terrifying. But yeah.
Aww.
Me and Jazz are 11 months tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's nearly a year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You need to do something fun in a month, I think, to celebrate that.
We're going to go bowling because we did that a lot at the start of our relationship.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I would like a posh spa. Eat 17, is that what it's actually called, Mark? I could not remember that. There used to be a vegan takeaway in the back of it, so we used to go into the back of this spa, but I did not know it was called Eat 17, or I had forgotten that it was called Eat 17, but that's amazing. Anyway, I feel like we should do more sprints, more writing.
Let's. I'm not a good influence. I'm sorry.
No, it's lovely.
Really productive, and I come on and don't stop talking.
Me and Alex
like this anyway.
Yeah, we're always
not leading you astray. That's good to know.
We're always very chaotic. Okay, I'm gonna bear with me. I'm gonna find the. I feel like every time I do this, I have to remember how to do everything.
It's weird for me that I'm not doing it. I keep going to like click on the stuff, and I'm like, no, it's not my sprint tonight. Like, stop trying to turn on the Pomodoro.
Oh, I hope it's nice though. I hope you can sit back and relax.
Yeah, it is. It's very relaxing. Thank you.
That's okay. Okay, so we're gonna have another half an hour sprint, and then we'll chat a bit more. So I will see you all in half an hour.
Bye.
Bye. Hello.
Hi, all right.
I like how Mark prepared everybody for the.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally never ready for the kitty. I'm always trying to do the last thing, and I'm like, I can do this in 5 seconds. No, I can't.
I'm the same. I'm like, I can read this page in like 20 seconds. It's fine. I can finish this chapter, and I can't really.
Well, it's
finish
got
this.
dark since we all went away last. I've just realised it's dark
Yeah,
last.
I decided I was going to be lazy and not put my ring light on tonight, and you could have the bad lighting tonight. Sorry.
It's all atmospheric. It's fine. I do these in my lounge just because it's more comfy, so you don't get the nice background whenever I do sprints. I'm like, I value my comfort over the nice
Yes,
background.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm sorry for that. The cat made Marlene and anybody else jump. Oh, Mark, I'm sorry. Read 22 pages of Black House. Well done. How did everybody else do? How did you both do in that sprint?
Yeah, so I finished typing up some extra edits, so I'm like done for today with writing now. So I started doing some social media stuff, which is what I was trying to just hastily finish then. Because I don't know about you two, but I've started like scheduling some of my social media posts just because it's like I know I've said that I'm going to review this book, or I need to post about like the Y Book Club that I do on certain dates. So I've just started scheduling those because otherwise I forget.
I am so bad with social media. As you've probably realised, unless I'm in a really good habit, and I have gone through periods of like scheduling everything, I am so bad with social media. I think, I don't know about you, but like I feel like it's going to take me a lot longer than it actually does. And I do it, I'm like, it's fine, it's like 10 minutes.
I think doing it in bulk is easy for me as well. Like one post takes me 10 or 15 minutes, but like 10 posts would take me half an hour. And I'm like, okay. So because I just churn them out. I'm really bad. Like I love doing TikToks, like when I can actually pull together the time to do them and figure out what I'm going to do, because I can never think of TikTok ideas. So I go through a phase of like posting every day and then nothing for a week, just because like the inspiration runs out, the time runs out, and I just don't do it. But I know it's really important, and apparently it sells books to be on social media and stuff. And I do like it. Like I still love the kind of being the blogger thing, because I did that first, like chatting to people about what I'm reading. But it's just fitting it into the day. I think that I'm too many things at the minute, and like social media extraordinaire is not on the list.
Yeah, like, I'm that. Like it just falls further and further down the list. I'm like, it's not a priority right now, but I really should get back on it. I used Later for a while. I found Later really good as a like scheduling tool. If you are looking for one, I use that for I think Twitter and Instagram, and it lets you schedule up to like 30 posts a month for free. I think
that's cool.
On both platforms, which I found really useful. I think there's only a few things that you can't do with the free version. Like you can't I think you can't cross post to like Facebook, and you can't tag people or something like that. There's a couple of things, but I found that really useful because I could sit at my laptop and do it then, and I had more motivation to do it in one go.
That's a really good idea. I need to look into it. I think that was the one my publisher said that quite a lot of their authors use, and I think I'd downloaded it or like signed up and then did nothing with it. So I probably have an account for that actually somewhere.
I get emails from them like, you need to re-add your Instagram account to Later, and I'm like, yes, because I just don't do it anymore. But very bad. Reese said, I listened to a chapter of Under the Whispering Door. Yay! I hope you're enjoying it, Reese. Were you reading it anyway, or were you intrigued because we were talking about it and decided to pick it up? I read like 7 pages of Beneath the Citadel. I haven't heard of that one. That's good. How did you do, Alex?
I think I read about 12 pages.
Yay! I don't know how much I read in that. I read, I think, another about 40 pages.
Wow.
Awesome.
It is a very quick book. I think I've read just over 100 pages today, which is good, but I'm so behind. I'll show you the books I have to read. Well, I'm meant to be reading this month. I still have 3 that I was meant to finish in April, and I have not even started Sinister Spring, Golden Boys, or The Wolf Den. So
yeah, I'm the same. I still have
Is April
Most of
just
my
this one
TBR
month?
read.
I've done the same thing this month. Like I think I've read 3 books instead of my usual 8. I'll probably finish maybe 5 by the end of the month instead of 8 or 9. So I don't know where those other 4 books went, but I did not read them.
Well, I know what it was for me. It's because me and Jez got into Hell's Kitchen this month, and that's all we're doing when we're not working.
I love your addiction to
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, it's a bit of a time drain, really.
Yeah, I think for me it's like doing house renovations. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I've just like I had a week off work and I was like, great, I'll like read loads, and then I think I read a lot on audio because I was painting.
Yeah.
So I was listening to that while I was painting, but other than that, I couldn't. April went by too fast, yes. I'm hoping to finish a few more during Dewey's 24-hour readathon this weekend. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know there was a readathon this weekend. That is exciting. If anyone wants a readathon, I'm actually going to Walthamstow this weekend.
Nice.
On Saturday, because one of the restaurants that we used to go to is closing, which is sad. But we're gonna go one last time before they shut on Sunday. So we're going down to London for the day on Saturday, and then I think we're gonna try and have more of a lazy Sunday. But we'll see if I get much reading in. Probably not.
Bank Holiday Monday as well.
Yes, I am actually off on Monday, only because I booked it off. I don't get it off as normal, but I booked it off. But it's because I'm going to something on Monday, so probably won't do much reading. And then we'll be into May. That's May.
Don't say
Yeah.
that. Well,
I know.
April on.
It's crazy. Are you both okay for another sprint or one last sprint?
Yes. Yeah, I think this might be my last. Is this gonna be your last one as well?
Yeah, I think it'll be our last one as well, because Alex will want to head to bed soon, won't you?
Me too. But I do know that the second I lay my head down, a little person will probably wake up, because it's like he knows when I'm just nodding off to sleep, and then he wakes up like, reliably every night. So yeah, I have to try and get some rest in before he does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start one last sprint now, and then we won't run too late. But yeah, this will be the last sprint for anybody who is here. I need to remember to share my screen again. There we go. Okay, let's go. Last sprint. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello.
Hi.
How did you both get on in the final sprint?
Good. I did lots of social media scheduling, so I feel quite happy that for next week I know my social media is. So when you see my polished posts, they aren't like spontaneous, they are things that I made up right now. So thank you for that. Gave me the motivation to keep going then that I was sprinting.
Oh, I'm glad. Well done. You are doing much better than me on social media.
Thank you. And also, I don't know whether either of you are into cults, which sounds weird, but we're watching The Vow, the series about NXIVM, that cult that kind of came out recently that was just like this wild kind of had loads of Hollywood people in it. And yeah, it's very eye-opening what people can get sucked into.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. So we rented it or bought it on Amazon Prime because we couldn't find it anywhere else. And yeah, it's really shocking how these kind of people who seem to have everything together still join this cult and like just do increasingly bizarre things because this leader tells them to. So yeah, so I'm interested, but also like just sitting there exclaiming all the time, like, why? Why are they doing this? No. So it's like awful to watch, but also really interesting.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, do.
Thank you for joining us, Marlene. I'm glad you've managed to read a nice little chunk of pages. You saying about that reminds me like slightly of this book in the way that they're really obsessed with like murder and like the main character, she's very dark. She's a very dark character and she's like always listening to like murder podcasts and stuff. Has this like obsession. But yeah, I've read quite a chunk.
Wow.
I think I have just over 100 pages, but it's very addictive. Like the more I read, the more I'm like, I think I know where it's going, but how do we get there? And the last like bit, it's really interesting because so the shop that they work in is called Spines, and there's like it's a what's the word? It's a branch of a shop of a company. And it's evidently based on Waterstones. All of the niche mentions in here as a Waterstones bookseller, ex-Waterstones bookseller. I was like, this is exactly what happens in a Waterstone shop, and the layouts and things and like the little comments. And apparently the author was a Waterstones bookseller for 6 years.
Oh, amazing.
And it was saying like in the past like couple of the pages I just read, they'd started doing like shifts, and 3 of the booksellers were on night shifts, and that just sounds amazing to me. Like we don't have the stuff to do that nowadays. It would never happen in Waterstone shops now, but I don't know if it ever did, if it was like based on her own experience, but I don't know.
I'm just trying to think if I've ever been in. I think it's just some big cities. Do the Waterstones open later? I feel like maybe in places like London, Piccadilly open a bit later and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Piccadilly's open till 8 most days, but this was actually like overnight shifts while they're shut, so to like recover the stock. And it was like basically it's Christmas at the time that like in the book at the moment, so they have like 3 people in the day and 3 people in the night who are just working overnight putting the stock out that they couldn't do in the day. And I'm like, that sounds Amy, doesn't that sound like, sorry, different Amy, doesn't that sound like heaven? If we could just be in the shop with no customers just shelving books.
That sounds like when I was a teacher and you just wanted to be in the classroom with no children there to get everything sorted. Like, can we just have no children for just one day, get the room sorted and start again?
Yeah, pre 2017. Maybe they did that, because sometimes you hear about people who have worked for Waterstones for like 20 years and things were completely different. Yeah,
or she made it up because it suited some plot thing that she's going to do at some point.
Which it did suit the plot, so it might be that. It does sound like the couple of Amy. This is who managed the shop when I worked there. Right. Amy. And in lockdowns, Amy was in the shop doing click and collects.
Oh right.
There was no customers there, and it was just Amy. And I worked a couple of shifts during that time, and it was lovely and quiet. And we could
the first time I signed my book in a bookshop was like just before it came out, because this lovely indie did pre-orders for me. And I sat in the bookshop to sign them, and the amount of people that were like, "Oh, shop's open again. Can we come in?" And they were like, "No, we're really sorry. Just this one person's allowed in." So I was allowed in the shop, and nobody else was. And then we were all messed up and stuff. It was so weird.
Amy says hi. Yeah, that's like it's such like a nice, like, calming environment when you can just like. I think a lot of Waterstones booksellers treasure the like 9 till 10:30 on a Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
We can just like vacuum the shop and just do things. Yeah, I don't blame you. Right, we should probably wrap up. How did you do in that last sprint, Alex?
I don't remember where I started that sprint at, but I've read about 40 pages overall.
Yay!
I'm nearly at the end of part 1 and things are kicking off. So
Nice.
getting exciting.
That's good. I wanted to get to page 250, but I got to page 248. So
That's close.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy with that. I feel like that's pretty good. Not too much longer.
How long is it altogether?
372. So maybe I can get to 270 tonight and I'll have 100 pages left. I'd be happy with that. Well, I'm going to let both of you go, but thank you both for joining me.
Oh, thank you for
Thank
having
you
me
for
last minute,
hosting.
accepting my invitation to myself.
No, it was lovely to have you here.
I was like, I just want to talk to some people about books and be productive, and I got all of that. So thank you.
Oh, I don't know if this is Mark being happy because 372, because he uses that as a name, or
Oh yeah,
see, the thing is, I noticed because Mark he uses 372 a lot. Whenever I see 372 anywhere, I obviously think of Mark. There's a lot of books that are 372 pages long.
really?
Weirdly,
Is it like the multiple of? I discovered this that books are bound in like multiples of whatever. Is it multiples
16
of
or 32, I think it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. I remember 8, so it's like 8 and then 16. If I'm right in saying, I think it's 16 double pages. So it'd be 32, maybe, something like that. So I was wondering that as well, whether it's that. It might well be.
Yeah, I know my publisher talked to me about like certain things, like trying to make sure the book was the right length in terms of the end material and the stuff that comes before, like the things that needed to go there for it to kind of fit what they needed. So yeah, I assume it's something to do with that.
Interesting. Oh, Marlene knows a 16. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I remembered this. Random miscellaneous things I've probably learned in my publishing degree.
I didn't realise you studied that. We'll have to talk about that at some other time.
Yes, I studied publishing and English language. I did a joint honours degree. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's very interesting. Anyway, we will talk about that another time.
Yeah.
And I'd be fascinated to hear more about like your publishing process as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Something in 4s at least. Yeah, I feel like 4 or 8 is in my head, so that makes sense. Anyway, yes, I'm going to let you go. Thank you, everybody who's joined us tonight. The next sprints will probably be on... Oh, Alex, I pointed the right way. Alex is joining next month. Me and Alex tend to do sprints every month, and we swap the host. And please go and follow Alex and Amy, who both have YouTube channels. And thank you both for joining again.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
See you all soon. Bye, everybody.